Hi guys, it's Koketso again from my Peri speech therapist. So guys, today I am coming with part 2 of the stuttering video. I'm sorry guys, it's taken so long. I had technical difficulties, as I said in my video from Saturday. So guys, if you have been on my profile more than once and you have not yet clicked on that follow button, I would strongly suggest that you click on that button right now so that you can easily be notified when I upload another exciting video. So guys, today I'm going to discuss assessment and intervention, more on the what to expect when you go for that assessment. This is not a super comprehensive video on assessment and intervention, and that is because, well, there's no time for me to do that kind of video. Also, it would be too long and sound like a lecture. Now, assessment. You've booked an assessment, you've called a speech therapist, booked an assessment, and then you arrive. What to expect? The first thing is that your speech therapist will most likely do a case history or an initial interview, some may call it, to identify if there are any other predisposing factors that could be contributing to your child's stutter. If you were in a car accident while you were pregnant, things like that. When your child accumulated or acquired language, the milestones, when she started saying her first words, when you identified the stutter, how long has your child been stuttering for, what does the teacher say at school, and what does it seem like for your child at home when they communicate. This is to allow also that if there are any other things that are important that we do not see in the session, that we don't conclude based on that, but we get your input so that we can have a clear view of who is this child in a nutshell. Also, this is the first step towards you being the parent and I the therapist, working together to assist your child. This is very general, guys. There are other areas that are going to be covered in the case history, but these are more important. Another note or something that's important, perhaps if you go for the assessment and your child is a little one and you have memory issues regarding how big your child was when she was born or when you gave birth, I strongly suggest you take your clinic card, the immunization card. That is all the information that the speech therapist will also inquire about, so that if you don't remember, at least it's written there. If you have reports from school, particularly if your little one is in crèche and you have received a concerning report from the teachers, take that with so that the speech therapist can have an idea of how they assess at school and what the challenge really is. Another one or another area that will be assessed is your child's articulation. Okay, it's not in this order. It may be in this order, it may not be in this order, but these are the things that you're most likely going to see being assessed in the session. So articulation, how does your child say this sound and this sound and their sound and so forth. This will also allow the speech therapist to be able to identify if the stutter or the disfluency rather occurs in a single syllable word or in a 2-syllable word and so forth. Another area of assessment will be that the speech therapist will probably engage in a conversation with your child or show them a picture to elicit something we call a spontaneous speech sample. I want to hear how your child talks. I want to hear how long her sentences are. I want to hear her voice. I want to see whether she's using complex words like adjectives or if it's just 3-word sentences and so forth. So a spontaneous speech sample allows for that. Another area of assessment will be to check if how well your child understands language in terms of following instructions and following complex instructions compared to basic instructions. There are standardized tests, so these are tests that we use to assess all of this so that it can allow us to determine if your child is up to par when it comes to their age. So there are other areas also that we'll assess, so things like their oral motor functioning. So how strong and how symmetrical are their muscles in their mouth and the facial structures as well, because that can contribute to some sort of speech and language difficulties that a child may present with. So in essence, the assessment is a comprehensive assessment, and if your child does not have a disfluency, or if your child has a disfluency or a stutter, it will allow the speech therapist to also be able to tell you, yes, your child has this and this and this and this, or no, your child just has a disfluency. So in essence, it will rule out a lot of communication, speech and language difficulties that your child may have. Now, intervention. So after the entire assessment, the speech therapist will then have determined or will determine the type of stutter that your child has, as well as the severity of the stutter, and that will help to start the intervention program. Also the speech therapist will discuss with you things to implement in the home environment that pertain to the stuttering. Things like how to talk to your child, things like what not to say, how to respond to when your child is experiencing a disfluency, and so forth. You will also discuss how frequent speech therapy sessions will take place, and also what the goals are. Please don't leave that feedback session with a speech therapist without understanding what the goals are, because a lot of the times there is some sort of miscommunication between parents and speech therapists regarding what my goals are compared to what your goals are, right? So you may say, well, I don't care if my child can't say the r sound, but the speech therapist may care, so she may work on the stuttering and the other parts of the assessment. It's an ethics type of thing, you know. Another one is, already I can just tell you guys, so do not put a lot of pressure on your child, asking them questions all the time. Allow them to lead conversations, allow them to speak, and also do not put a lot of pressure on a child who's presenting with a stutter. Allow them to finish that sentence. You know, they know that they have a disfluency, well, depending on their age, but chances are they may already know, particularly if the symptoms co-occur. So if your child has a prolongation as well as a pausation, as I've mentioned in the previous video, they may already be aware. If your child is already starting to pull back from social settings, they are probably aware that they're stuttering. So do not put pressure on them. Do not tell them, no, say it like this, when they're presenting with a disfluent moment. It just adds to the stress and the social anxiety that may be developing. Please also note that your child is not stuttering because she's stressed, but there are certain moments, such as a stuttering moment or an anxiety inducing moment, that can increase the frequency of stuttering moments. So it's a bit hard to explain, but I hope you get the gist of it. You will also, if your child is old enough and I already understand that they have a disfluency, we will start to also teach them the kind of techniques to include or to implement at home, so that they can reduce their stuttering moments, even when they are amongst their friends or even when they are at school, because you are not with your child all the time. Chances are, if your child is of school going age, so they have more moments where they experience this disfluency. Guys, I don't know if there's anything that I didn't cover that you may wanted me to answer, but if so, please do comment in my video, like my videos, let me know what else you'd like me to say regarding stuttering, and if so, I'll respond to your questions individually in videos, because that comment section has such short allowance for text. So then I'll respond in short little videos responding to your question. Guys, until then, I will see you in my next video, where I will be speaking about auditory processing, as well as how does auditory processing affect academic performances at school. I will see you in that video. If you're a parent with a child who's already going to school, you don't want to miss this video. It's going to be super exciting. I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye bye.